Okay, so now what we're going to be expecting this week? Let me go back to the dollar index first of all. So since the dollar index has broken um this support zone again, so now we probably are going to last week gave us a lot of information, but the real question is, what does it mean for this week ahead? In today's weekly outlook, we're going to recap everything we talked about last week. We talked about the dollar index, Euro USD, pound dollar, Aussie USD, and USD card. So we're going to see where the market respected or invalidated our ideas, and we're going to map out key levels and events that we're going to watch out for this coming week. Let's go into it. The first things first is that we want to check the news calendar and see what's coming out this week. When we go scroll through the news calendar, we can see that we have a key event on Monday, which is the ISM manufacturing PMI. All right, and then we have the NFP that is on Friday, August 7th. Okay, so these are the two key events that are going to be looking out for this week on Monday by 3 p.m. and on Friday by 1:30 p.m. So let's get right into it. The first thing first was that last week the market was around this zone, and we were saying that we are quite bullish and we're looking for uh, more higher highs. And we're looking at the market growing to as high as 103. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Okay, instead, the market decided to go back down because Kevin Watch decided to keep interest rates. So that's what it now. What else can we see from the other charts that we mentioned? The first one was Euro USD. Okay, so from Euro USD, we talked about this ranging market right here. And this week, last week rather, the market has broken out of the range and has gone all the way up. It has broken out the range and went to the next resistance zone right here. Okay, so we didn't get a breakdown to the level down here. We instead went the opposite direction. Okay, this is also very, very good. It's telling us something that the market is starting to get ready to be bullish. So that's one thing that we should see, and we're going to come back on how we can trade it for the coming week. On Australian dollar, US dollar, I'm going to switch to the 4 hour time frame here. Yeah, so we talked about the sell position here, which went rightly along to plan. You can see that the market just went straight ahead to the support zone that we talked about, and then after it's corrected upward side. All right, and lastly, if you remember what I said in that video, I talked about the dollar being bullish, and then after the news, the dollar was going to get bearish, and that is exactly what happened. Although it didn't happen on all the pairs, okay, it was just on Aussie USD that saw this flow very, very well. On Euro USD and on pound dollar, it didn't follow according to our plan. It didn't drop to our buy zone, and we couldn't buy from that. But anyways, it's still fine because now we we know what we could look for. We know how we can trade this coming week. All right. So firstly, I'm not going to try to look for trades that much because we are in the summer, and the market is just like much more less volatile in the summer. Before I go ahead, I just want to quickly point out the USD card trade that I mentioned last week. Also, I mentioned that the market could retest this zone, and that's exactly what happened here. We saw a sell from this resistance zone right here, and that was what we saw. So if you want to see a full breakdown of this, I'm going to link the description to the previous video in the description, so you can just check out USD card. Okay, so now what we're going to be expecting this week. let me go back to the dollar index first of all. So since the dollar index has broken um this support zone again, so now we probably are going to be looking for a retest before we can continue going down. Okay, so we are going to be looking for a retest around this area here. Okay, so that is where our bearish breaker is going to be. Okay, so we're going to look for a bearish breaker, and then when the market, so excuse me, let me drag it back there. So when the market gets to this zone, we'll be looking for sell positions on the dollar. So it's just pretty straightforward. When we get there, look for sell confirmations, and then we're going to short downwards. Okay, maybe yes, around this area here. So that is what this will be our plan going forward. If you want to get how to execute this strategy, you can send me an email, and you can join our Telegram group. I can share you how to enter this step by step, and so you don't miss out on this kind of trades. Okay, so now how does this translate to Euro USD? Now, for translating to Euro USD, it's quite much easier. Okay, so because Euro USD has bounced off of this zone, we're going to wait for a retracement to this former broken resistance zone, which is going to turn to support. And then once we have retested there, and then we can now look for buy areas here to continue the buy upwards. That's what we're going to do for Euro USD. And for Australian dollar USD or US dollar, also the same thing. Okay, however, the chart looks a little bit freakier on the weekly time frame. Okay, so now if you remove all these tools that I'm using, like the arrows and everything, it's going to be much clearer for you. And look at something. Just use your line chart here. When you use your line chart here, you can see that the market is still clean as it can be. Okay, so also the same thing now. You want the market to retest this zone before we can look for buys upwards to this zone here. Okay, so then once we have done that, it's now become much more clear. All right. Lastly, for pound dollar. Okay, so almost the same thing here. However, I'm not going to be trading much pound dollar this week because it's not it's not well defined for me. Okay, because I like to have a well defined strategy or well defined plan. Okay, this support zone here that I'm seeing here, it's not too clean for me because the market has been swiping through it. We've had a kangaroo market for quite a long time. See, the market pass through it here, pass through it here, pass through it here. So I'm not going to try to support and look for a market retracing here and buying from here because the market has been swiping through it for the last 3 times now. So that's why I don't really trust it going forward. All right, so I think we have covered majority of what we want to see for this coming week. All right, and so now that's my roadmap for this week ahead. Remember that the goal isn't to predict every move. We are going to prepare for the highest probability scenario, and we are going to manage risks when the market proves us wrong. So I hope you found this helpful and can subscribe for weekly outlooks and trading insights. Until next time, stay patient, stay disciplined, and keep hunting pips.